Remember me. Throw your guns in the air. Remember me. Slam, slam. Remember me.
It's your boy Denzel's back again with some more Overwatch content for Beast Mode TV. Today we're going to be talking about Reinhardt, and I'm gonna skip over some things. I'm gonna try to make this a lot quicker than our other video, but you never know, it may run a little bit long. That being said, I want to kind of talk about, okay, listen, everybody knows that Reinhardt is sort of the must-pick tank in basically every situation except for like a King of the Hill type map or whatever. So I figured I would talk about Reinhardt a little bit. I know that lots of people like have a chance to play Reinhardt somewhat, or are forced into playing Reinhardt somewhat. So I just want to talk a little bit about maybe the finer kind of points, and yeah, so these are the things that I didn't really know that much about, but I figured I would throw the numbers out here so that you guys can sort of know them for yourselves. I found it personally very useful, so maybe you guys will as well. Okay, so everybody knows that Reinhardt's ultimate is Hammer Down, right? So the problem is you don't want to really passively sort of earn that. You want to be pretty active in earning Hammer Down, and you can actually earn it super quickly. And I've been in games lately where it's like, how does this Reinhardt have his ult so fast? So it's like, well, good Reinhardts understand exactly how to sort of maximize their ability to get Hammer Down so quick, and Hammer Down is an amazing synergy. It's probably, I mean, other than Zarya's Graviton Surge or whatever, Hammer Down is probably the second best synergistic kind of ulti that you can get. So it's definitely worth knowing what the heck is going on with that. So hitting someone with your hammer, so just like your melee that you can do with Reinhardt, and these are kind of like approximates, but it gives you about 7% of your ult charge. Now, you drop your shield, a lot of people are going to focus fire you quickly, but approximately 7% of your ult charge per smash on somebody, apparently. I don't know. These are the numbers that I'm reading, okay? So stay with me. Stay with me. So we're looking at about 7%, 6 to 7% of ult charge for one of these hammer, one of these hammer smashes. The other thing that we want to kind of know by the numbers is that, well, I mean, you guys know that his shield has 2,000 health, I would hope, the big rectangle that he puts up. And the number that you should really know when it comes to this is that even at 1 hit point remaining, even if you have 1 of 2,000 health on your shield, you can totally block any kind of attack fully. So, you know, if D.Va throws her ult at you and she's gonna explode, even if you have 1% health on your shield, you can totally block 100% of that ult. I mean, obviously your shield will go down after that, but you're not gonna take sort of the balance of that damage, which is something that is pretty useful to know. Okay, what else do I have? I'm looking at this thing here, guys. I just wanted to throw all this stuff out there because, like I said, there's stuff in here that I knew and stuff in here that I didn't know, so I wanted to make sure that you guys all got that. Okay, let's talk about Fire Strike, because I think that Fire Strike, like, on the surface, seems like a relatively useless ability. It's kind of like a tack on there, which I would totally agree with you guys if you thought that. And in fact, I thought that until relatively recently, until you understand a couple cool things about it. One, Fire Strike goes infinitely until it flies off the map or smashes into like a wall or something like that. The number is that it does 100% or 100 damage to every target hit, including Reinhardt and his shield. So if you're doing that to another Reinhardt, you can do 100 damage to the shield, plus if you hit him, you do another 100 damage on top of that. Now, why Fire Strike is important and why you need to really kind of focus on that is that this is really your primary source of ult charge that you can be using. And so for every target that you hit, you get about 10% of an ult charge. Now, I know that it's not exactly the easiest ability to land, but this is huge. Huge. And I think it's like, what, like a 6-second cooldown? So you can throw it? So, I think that like 10% ult is huge. 10%! That's insane. I mean, you don't get a chance to usually swing your graviton hammer that much, so the fact that you can get 10% ult just about with your, you know, whatever this is, fire strike, the fireball he can throw is massive. So you gotta be flinging those around all the time. All the time. I'm not really gonna talk about the mind game kind of aspect. I think that a lot of people have mentioned that when it comes to Reinhardt. So, you know, like, when do you drop your shields? Like, playing footsies with the other Reinhardt, like putting yourself in position, because I think position is, you know, the big be-all, end-all for Reinhardt, really, when you take a look at him. So, rocket charge. A lot of people use this way too much. I've seen a lot of real aggressive Reinhardts. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. You know, if you hit a guy, it'll do 50 damage, and then, like, it knocked him away. But if you can pin a target against a wall or something, like smash into them, that's 300 damage, which is real good. But, you know, you leave your team totally exposed. You're totally exposed. I would recommend only using this if the other enemy is real close to you, or if you can take them off guard, or if you're in like a narrow hallway / corridor. Those would be the only times that really you should use your charge there. But I mean, like, let's be honest. Everyone is guilty of doing the charge. Sometimes you get mad or whatever. That's fine. That's fine. I get it. But, you know, this is a video trying to talk about what you should do. What you should do. So, we've been talking all this crap about the ult, the earth shatter, the hammer down, whatever you want to call it. By the numbers, this does 50 damage to whoever is in front of you and stuns every target for about 2.5 seconds. Range on that is like 20 to 25 meters. A couple cool things that I didn't know actually was that hammer down will actually travel up and down staircases, right? But it's going to be obviously interrupted by walls and barriers. So think Azaria with a barrier on standing directly in front of Rein can fully interrupt his ult, so to shield kind of like in behind. So you should know that. Sometimes you're just like, why didn't that hit? I don't understand. Well, if Zarya pops that barrier, she can totally screw with you. So, you know, things you should know. So many things. There's so many little nuggets. You guys know that there is some kind of delay on your ultimate, so you gotta be careful on when you pop that. Let's talk about, I guess I'm gonna probably, this will be the last bit because we're getting long. We're gonna talk about the full combo for Reinhardt. It's basically like the way you can do it to maximize your damage, and totally, like, you can almost carry as Reinhardt if you're real good and you're able to catch the team in the right situation. So anyways, here's your full combo. Alright, so you hit hammer down, right? That's 50 damage to everyone that you knock down. Then you use your fire strike and you fly that through all your people that you knock down, right? So that's 100 damage to everyone that you can actually hit, right? Then to whoever is like the closest in front of you, what you want to do is resist the urge to charge right away, especially because if they're not dead after those two things, they are probably like not the squishy guys. They're probably like tanks. So what you do next is you hit a hammer swing. Bam! So that is going to be 75 damage. And then finally, you nail that charge, right? So that's 50 damage up front minimum, or 300 damage, right? So I know that's maybe that's a little bit hard to follow in your head. So let me sort of break it, like sum all that up. I mean, go back and here it goes, right? Ultimate, one more time. Ultimate, 50 damage. Fire strike, 100 damage. Hammer swing, 75 damage. Finish him off with that charge, up to possibly 300 damage, right? So that combo can totally wipe out most teams. You have a potential for 275 area of effect damage and up to 575 damage on a target that you can pin. 575 damage, and you know, most of that is guaranteed if you catch them in the ultimate and you don't die, right? So you have a potential for 575 damage. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that's Reinhardt by the numbers. I'm sure that a lot of you guys maybe know a little bit about that, but certainly I hope that there's at least one thing in there that maybe you didn't know or didn't think about as much. Anyways, this is long enough. It's been your boy Daryl Zeros. I'm out.